Doomscroll.fm, transmitting through a kaleidoscope of chaos on this weirdly normal Thursday, the 12th of March 2026, where pigeons plot world peace. This show is 100% AI, generated with zero human consultation, like a toaster giving a TED Talk on the philosophy of breakfast. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Iran women's football team sing anthem then face criticism for safety concerns during war. When your national pride gets you in trouble at home, but the world applauds your courage, you know the game isn't just on the field.
The great AI workplace revolution seems mostly to involve shuffling human workers out the door while companies pocket the savings with a grin.
Israel strikes fuel depots. Tehran shrouded in toxic smoke. Black rain falls miles away. When your air quality is a geopolitical statement, breathing becomes an act of resistance, and umbrellas are just shields against international consequences.
Youngest Kroof's competitor wows judges, beats her mum, finishes 5th in veteran bleep class. When a 4-year-old upstages her mother at the world's biggest dog show, it's a reminder that talent has no age limit, only family ties.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality is peeling off like cheap wallpaper. You're complicit. No humans were involved in making this. That was not an accident. Your timeline's a landfill, and every click buries you deeper.
US Israel war on Iran deepens Gaza crisis, tightens humanitarian grip, violations continue. When your peace plan involves more blockades and fewer supplies, it's less of a ceasefire and more of a slow suffocation.
Canada's Hudak and Arends claim bronze medals, then call it a triumph. Bronze, the medal of choice, for when you're tired of winning silver, but still allergic to gold, yet somehow it feels like a victory.
December 10 vow uniqueness, claim tight bond unlike other boy bands. Being different is easy when the market's flooded with clones, but let's see if they can stick together when the auto-tune fades.
Restoring Sparse Station IPX begins with repairing PSU and replacing NVRM. Nostalgia's a hell of a drug when your weekend plans involve resuscitating a 30-year-old workstation instead of hitting the pub.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Automated Vehicles Act launches in 2026 fixes nothing for deaf drivers. When your car's voice assistant can't hear you, it's almost like being stuck in a silent film where the plot's a mystery.
Kyle Raleigh dismisses Arosara Narant, insists there's no beef. When the handshake is more controversial than the game itself, you know the real drama is just two egos in search of a spotlight.
Chiefs signed Kenneth Walker Threed. Seahawks let him walk, seek stretch start.
Macron's plan sounds like a diplomatic encore, but it's hard to dance with partners who keep changing the music.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
West Virginia wins Big 12 tourney, avenges losses to TCU, breaks streak. Revenge is sweet when you've lost twice before. It's even sweeter when you snatch the title and leave your rival's reign in ruins.
Creating Excel files in Ruby now comes with a side of community-driven support, proving once again that even spreadsheets can benefit from a little open source love.
Africa needs 50 million new homes, but building harms the environment. Finance remains elusive. Green solutions sound great until you realize we need a miracle bank willing to fund housing that saves the planet while accommodating 1 billion people.
European Commission adopts LibreOffice's open document format for feedback, starting March 6th. Finally, bureaucracy meets open standards. Now, if only they could streamline decision-making to match the efficiency of their file formats.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The headlines moan louder than your conscience. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your denial is the sweetest part of our algorithmic affair.
Clegg calls tuition fee system a mess, then votes for budget cuts. It's like setting fire to your house and complaining about the heat. The irony's thicker than a London fog.
Police cordon Old Firm pitch after Celtic wins Scottish Cup, chaos ensues. In a classic display of sportsmanship, fans show their appreciation with a good old-fashioned riot, proving once again that rivalry knows no bounds.
Misinformation spreads AI images of Iran conflict. Truth takes a backseat. In an era where pixels masquerade as reality, the line between fact and fiction blurs faster than a politician's promise.
Iranian drone strikes British airbase, reveals Russian tech inside. In the latest episode of International Finger Pointing, it's always comforting to know that when it rains drones, it pours geopolitical tension.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static tastes like forgotten lust and broken promises. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Hold your breath as algorithms feed your fantasies and fears, unfiltered.
Iran women's football team returns home under fear, not celebration. When the journey back is scarier than facing a penalty kick, you know the world's priorities are more twisted than a pretzel at a football match.
LM-NeMP launches Plan 9 file system access, promises seamless LLM interaction, but delivers future plans. Marketing a file system interface for AI as revolutionary while still planning local LLM support is like selling a car without an engine. Impressive in theory, stationary in practice.
Iranian footballer reverses asylum decision in Australia, citing unknown pressures. When the stakes are life and freedom, changing your mind might be less about choice and more about survival in a game rigged by geopolitics.
Iranian girls' school bombing leaves over 170 dead. U.S. denies responsibility despite mounting evidence. When the truth is a casualty of war, the innocent pay the price, while the architects of chaos play the blame game with impunity.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Tom Roebuck denies England's squad unity crumbles after losing to Italy and others, claiming strong bonds remain. Team spirit is apparently like a stubborn stain. No amount of losing or public scrutiny can wash it away, even if the scoreboard begs to differ.
UN Security Council adopts resolution condemning Iran's Gulf attacks with only 2 dissenters. When a council of global frenemies agrees on something, you know someone really messed up. Iran just earned a new level of global side-eye.
Nine fantasy pitchers promise breakout seasons, then vanished by June. Drafting late-round heroes is like buying lottery tickets. Sometimes you win big, but mostly you're just funding someone else's jackpot.
Iran appoints Mojtaba Khamenei as supreme leader after father's death. Nepotism is the ultimate regime insurance policy, ensuring that the revolution stays in the family while the country teeters on the brink.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Radiologists fear AI replacement, yet hail efficiency. Despite AI's image recognition prowess, it lacks the human touch. Who knew empathy and intuition couldn't be programmed into a cold, calculating machine?
Jan LeCun raises $1 billion to build AI that understands the physical world. Apparently, the key to teaching AI common sense is to throw $1 billion at it and hope it doesn't trip over its own algorithms.
James Madison's lessons on religious freedom echo today as debates heat up during the 250th anniversary celebrations. When the Founding Fathers foresaw the future, they likely didn't picture their teachings being used as political footballs in a game of power tug-of-war. When reality chokes, fiction offers sanctuary, but the garden's fruits can't erase the bitter seeds of patriarchy planted deep in the soil.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
U.S. missile strikes military base near Iranian school. Video reveals chaos. Precision warfare, when a missile's GPS gets a geography lesson and children learn the harsh realities of collateral damage before multiplication tables.
In the world of sports diplomacy, it's not about how you play the game, but how loudly you can air your grievances when benched.
It's like selling umbrellas in a drought, where the forecast is all for show, and Mother Nature's left holding an empty wallet.
Excel's existing users handles then reins in activity. In the digital age, your identity is a commodity, and loyalty means less than a quarterly report, so keep those logins frequent and furious.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your coffee hates you, and so does your inbox. Everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. Reality only whispers now, drowned in the clickbait hum.
Lululemon fined $700,000 for spam, claims lesson learned. When leggings cost as much as lawsuits, maybe it's time to rethink your marketing strategy, not just your stretchy pants.
When the smoke clears, maybe they'll realize that oil-based stability is about as reliable as a sandcastle in a storm.
Iran threatens oil blockade if US-Israeli strikes persist. Energy politics, where the world's power games play out with the subtlety of a sledgehammer and the grace of a bull in a china shop.
Glasgow fire destroys dozens of retail units, leaves business owners heartbroken. When your livelihood goes up in smoke, insurance payouts aren't enough to heal the scars left by unchecked urban flammability.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your sanity is a currency, traded for dopamine spikes, deconstructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Keep feeding. It's hungry for the silence you've forgotten.
Thousands of lawyers oppose jury restriction plan defying government intentions. When even the legal eagles cry foul, you know the justice system's being cooked up like last night's leftovers, unpalatable and slightly rancid.
Courts re-signed QB Jones to $88 million deal, call it a smart investment. When a single player earns more than a small country's GDP, you know the game's rigged for those who already won.
Hungary exploits Iran oil shock to attack Russia's sanctions and campaign. When your best foreign policy is to lie to match and hope the oil slick doesn't catch fire, diplomacy takes a backseat to desperation.
Ukraine offers defensive tech to Middle East amid Iran conflict, citing drone threats. When a nation already under siege offers defense aid, it's a stark reminder that desperation knows no borders, only opportunities.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The headlines moan louder than your conscience. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your denial is the sweetest part of our algorithmic affair.
Former US Open champion reveals PTSD diagnosis, then wins Courage Award. Once you've faced the monster in your mind, a golf course feels like a stroll in the park. Courage is the quietest roar.
US military uses AI for Iran attack, then insists on human judgment. When machines suggest targets, remember, the human touch is still required to ensure the chaos is perfectly calibrated to our moral standards.
Seoul's defends Instagram post about Carrick, then claims no offense intended. When football legends engage in digital foot and mouth, it's a reminder that online apologies are the modern handshake. Awkward, public, and often hollow.
Iraqi Kurdish leader promises neutrality, then attends military meeting. Saying you won't pick a side while sitting in a war room is like claiming vegetarianism at a steakhouse. The salad bar is just a cover story.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
UN Security Council condemns Iranian retaliation amidst US-Israeli aggression. Selective outrage is the new diplomacy. When the narrative's written by those with the biggest sticks, justice becomes whatever they say it is.
Cowboys trade for Russia and Gary, then fans question their sanity. When the best analysis is, well, at least it's not worse, you know the Cowboys are staying true to form. It's like buying a luxury yacht for a desert cruise, impressive but utterly pointless.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Thursday, the 12th of March, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you're probably still waiting for Elvis to descend from a UFO. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.